Lord, grant me the serenity to understand the things I cannot change. Grant me the courage to change the things that I can. And grant me the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today. Amen. Away from me.
Why ain't playing with y'all, boy? Y'all boys trying to tell me to do something.
You close to the edge, just don't move. My brother said his lawyer just gave him some bad news. Police found the drugs that were stashed in the bathroom. Not only that, but his court date approaching us fast too. So tell me what to do. Lord, you only seek the truth. If you want to bear fruit, then he needs to abide in you. If you seek transformation, it happens in solitude. Since I never had a shot, God threw me the alley-oop. I believe I can fly. Let me mingle with the angels. Heaven's in my peripheral, I see it from an angle.
What's up, good people? Welcome, and welcome. It's your boy, Bro Troy.
Brother Kirk. Bro Smith.
And we are the Bro Code. Tonight's show is sponsored by Papa Murphy's Take and Bake Pizza. Make sure to visit your local Papa Murphy's retail store near you and load up on fresh, made-to-order, gluten-free, take and bake pizzas, desserts, and salads. Use that mobile app for faster service and to earn additional savings. Now, for those who are new to the Bro Code Show, the Bro Code Show was created to amplify the voices of others, speak life into the community, and express a code of standards by which we treat all people. Our greatest desire is to embrace everyone in positive, popular conversation. So no, we're not in the business of bashing or belittling anyone, but we do believe in being comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations. Why? Because that's where understanding starts. So as Grandma would say, let's chew the meat and spit out the bone. Now, make sure to subscribe to the Bro Code Show on all popular podcasting platforms such as iTunes, Google Music, and Spotify. Also, go to our YouTube channel, Bro Code TV Productions. Not now, fellas, but when? Right now. That's absolutely right, man.
We
got a new bro on the show, right? My man. So please keep up with all the future and past conversations that we've had right here on the Bro Code Show. So, fellas, what's good, man? How you feeling, man? Bro Smith, what's good with you, man?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. I just put solar panels on my house today.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you know.
Went to the new age and got a little kickback, too, right?
Not yet. It's going to come, but I figured, let me do this now before they take away this tax incentive next year. Mm-hmm. And, we'll see. They haven't turned it on yet.
Yeah.
It's just on the house.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, but I feel good, man.
I think in the long run, it'll be a good investment all around the board.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Get a little bread, too, man. Can't beat that, right? Kirk, what's good, man?
Good, man. Christmas was a good week. But I don't want to brush over this. You notice Jay didn't bring up no football talk this week, right?
No.
I'm not going to talk about it either. But I'm not going to talk about it.
Last week.
But I'm just going to say a number. 56.
Yeah, 56? Okay,
56?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
What?
Listen.
You see his suit,
You don't want these problems.
Yeah,
You don't want these
I
problems.
knew when I walked in.
I'm glad I'm in between, right? Yeah. I see now that this show is going to be real interesting. See, we didn't know the dynamic.
I didn't know this.
I
didn't know
I knew
I
it.
guess that was a smart thing.
Listen,
Because you and I had good stories for the last 26 years, right?
Listen.
For those that don't know, Bro Kirk is a Cowboys fan. Bro Smith is a Giants fan. And every week or every show,
Oh, you're not even a Washington football team. You a Giants fan.
Even worse.
We win once every decade.
I'm going to let it be.
It's just a bad decade right now.
I got you.
It happens. As usual, we're right here on the Bro Code Show, clowning, having a good time, man. So I'm curious, fellas. I was asked this question in a room probably about a week ago. And I just want to hear you guys' perspective on it. It said, would you rather have $15 million cash right now, or go back 15 years with your younger self, equipped with all of the knowledge, the know-how, and wisdom that you have today? So would you rather me give you $15 million cash right now, do as you please, or you can go back 15 years ago to your younger self, all wisdom, knowledge, know-how, and maturity that you have now, and do it all over again? Which one you picking, man? What you think?
I'm going to go back in time. Now, assuming I can also change some of the things, and I'm not just there for all this knowledge and I can't do anything with it. I'm taking that knowledge because I can turn that into $1 billion, 15 billion.
Yeah,
15
years.
Oh yeah, I could go on and on, but the money is nice.
Mm-hmm. Taking the time.
I'm gonna take the time.
You got it, Kirk.
So I was in that room, and I still been thinking about it.
Yeah.
But I'm still, and I said this, and I'm gonna say it again. I'm still going back. Time is undefeated. It's the best resource we have, and with the knowledge I have now, I'm buying it. You know, we just talked about it.
Yeah.
I'm buying the city up.
Okay. Indeed. I would say the same thing. Greatest commodity that we have. Time. You can't buy it back. Right?
Yeah, man.
At first, I'll be honest with you, I was thinking of it from a perspective of, knowledge and wisdom, but then I went back to that movie, Back to the Future. And I was when Biff had the magazine, and I started thinking about it, I was like,
Now he went quick.
But you got to think, so if you could go back 15 years, you could tell yourself, hey, listen,
I remember who
Amazon's
won
coming.
this, right?
Oh yeah, Google.
You know what I'm saying? Google's coming.
I know who won the World Series for the last 15
Oh, yeah.
years.
I try not to abuse it.
I'm abusing
But
it.
still, but you would still know. Right. I mean, if you're going back with all of the knowledge,
I'm going back.
not to mention, you give yourself great, just everyday advice. Like, you probably don't want to do that. That's probably a bad move for you.
Yeah.
So I'm going back too, man. Yeah. On multiple levels.
Now I do worry. Am I going to change the direction of my life so much to where I wouldn't even be here right now? You know, I do worry about that when it comes to going back and rewriting wrongs, investing in things. Because I'm like, there was a lesson in all of that.
That sounds like a cold question.
Yeah.
Right?
Is your code the same? Yeah. Because if it is, you're going to end up where you end up.
Right here. Just with more money.
Just with more money.
And more wisdom.
More leverage.
I might not have been at Fidelity that day. You know?
That's true. He's going back.
You might not have been there.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the wisdom is invaluable. That's true. Yeah, I really do. I think the wisdom is invaluable. Delayed gratification is something, even in the work that we do, fellas, that we try to educate, inspire, the youth that we talk to every day, and understanding why that's so valuable. It'll be greater later, right? And understanding that. So good stuff, man. Well, fellas, the things that we do is called greatness, man. We call ourselves bald head greatness for whatever reason. My brother here is supporting the nice hat, but I love it though, man.
Yeah, that's
Tell
right.
us a little bit more about that, man. 1619, Black Wall Street. Talk to me about that.
Let's not forget, 1619 is when we came here. It's you could say slaves, you could, white folk may say indentured servants, whatever the textbooks say these days. But, we've spent quite a number of centuries living through that and still trying to make stuff our own. Yeah. Hence, Black Wall Street, reborn here in Black Friday Market, where we support all sorts of black businesses. So this is kind of my reminder of how far we've come and where we need to go from here.
Yeah. Like you said, man, 23 West Hargett Street, right here at the Black Friday Market in Raleigh, North Carolina. Well, tonight's guest is born and raised right here in Southeast Raleigh, North Carolina. 27610 is in the building.
In the 10.
Yes, sir. He graduated from Enloe High School, undergrad at North Carolina Central University in Durham, and his Juris Doctorate from Campbell University right in downtown Raleigh, North Carolina. Big homie, Judge Damion McCullers. Damion, what's good, bro? How you feeling, man?
Man, Mama, I made it.
Mama, I made it!
Made
right
it.
here on the Bro Show, baby. Yes,
Absolutely.
sir.
I'm excited, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Hey, man, you the big homie, man. It's a pleasure to have you, bro.
I feel underdressed.
I'm excited. We're good.
You talked about that too, man. We did, right?
We talked about that.
I'm curious, Dame. So we talked about you being from the city, man. From Enloe to Central to Norman A. Wiggins School of Law to maturing a voice for the voiceless and walking out a life of service. I don't believe truly, man, that happens by coincidence, right? Like those the footsteps of a righteous man are ordered, right? And when we talk about doing it for the city, coming from the dirt, and now here you are. There's a title in front of that name that you were given, right? So talk to me about that, man. Talk to me. Come back to the beginning. Being right here at 27610. Who are the people that were most influential? What did it look like? And why were those people sticking out the most?
Man, there are countless, and I really mean countless people. There's shoulders that I stand on. I don't know that I can single out, just a couple. I mean, there are so many people at different points in my life that they literally made me. So kind of, I know one of your things is who is your why and what is your why. Yeah. Those people are my why, man, and I could just go on and on. young man, I think he passed on now, but Smitty at the rec center, Biltmore Hills. Shout out to them. You know, chubby little brown boy from Southeast Raleigh. I didn't want to play basketball because I had to run. Smitty made me run. You know, Coach Stokes made me run. I finally got decent at basketball. Coach Stokes told me I had to play baseball if I wanted to play basketball to keep me running, to keep me healthy. Moved on from there, in-law high school. Mr. Clinton, Eddie B. Clinton, he taught economics, but he introduced me to James Baldwin. You know, it goes on and on, man. College, Professor Minnie Ford. Shout out to the North Carolina Central University.
Eagle Pride.
You know, but they're literally countless people, and those are just a fraction. I literally stand. Everything I have and everything I am is because of those people.
Yeah. We talk about blessings, Bill Kirk and myself, and the brothers talk about all the time. Blessings come from people.
It's an absolute fact, man. You know, I left out one that I've got to say. Former RPD officers Brown and Oates and Green. Those were the guys. You know, certain people kind of know you, and they know, like in high school, the Bojangles and Pizza Hut on Newburn was despised. After the football games and whatever else, man. And those were the guys that would be working security at those places, and they be like, man, if you don't get out of here, because you know you hanging with people you're not supposed to hang with, or you just looking like, you know, or they can read the room, the temperature, and be like, hey, look, man, it's about to get a little different here. You probably need to leave. So shout out to them, man, for sending me home.
You know, it's so funny you talk about being different and being marked, right? And people being able to recognize that. You know, I'm curious. You said something. I'm not even going to glance over it. Bro Kirk would say, I'm not even going to glance over this being introduced to Baldwin and jazz and things of that nature. Talk to me about something that people wouldn't know about you. What's something that most people would be like, I didn't know that about that?
I'm a little bit of a sneakerhead.
Okay.
Jordan 13s, that's my go-to.
That's your pair?
That's my pair. The cobalt blue and gray.
Okay.
That's my pair.
Okay.
What else? I sang in a group between high school and college.
This on the internet?
Did the whole record thing. Well, you trying to date me, man. This is pre-internet. Don't do that, man. Don't do that.
Move back to download for
But yeah, sang in a group. Did the whole record thing for a little while. Went to Atlanta, chasing that dream.
Okay.
Didn't work out, but shout out to my bro Travis Cherry. He's Grammy nominated now. He stuck with it. I said, forget that. I'm not sleeping in cars. I'm not dealing with promoters. I'm not like I'm going to school. He stuck with it. So shout out to you, Trav.
Good stuff, man. Let's shoot the meat and get out the bone. What you got, bro, man?
I was looking up a little bit of information on Mr. McCullers here, and in his bio, one of the statements he made really stuck to me. I'm going to read it verbatim real quick, because he said he holds fast to the commitment that there are certain tenets that should be unwavering in our daily journey to justice. He believes that every citizen deserves to be treated with respect, fairness, and have his or her matter move forward with the rule of law leading the way. You know, I couldn't help but really attribute that to the work that we do. You know, we base everything on a foundation that's centered on the code, or unlike your written rules, our unwritten rules. And we work to amplify the voice of others and strengthen the community. And one of the pillars that we build on that foundation is all about social justice and community engagement. You've been doing a lot of great work for, I'm not going to date you, but you've been involved in social justice for quite some time. Why criminal justice? Why did that matter to you to pursue that as a career interest?
I'll be honest, I wanted to go into law enforcement. That was kind of the focus initially. I was going to either work for the Postal Service as an inspector or go to the FBI Academy. That was what I was going to do. But I had, you know, great people around me, and they kind of told me they thought that I might do well in law school. I prepared for the LSAT. I did decent on it. It just kind of took off from there. So, I mean, it was, initially it was a career in law enforcement. That's what I wanted to do. But that was one of those things, and it kind of goes back to those guys that I told you about that sent me home. So I had the opportunity to see Oates and Green, all of those guys, and they were RPD officers, and it was kind of one of those things where not only were they police officers, but they were the guys that were in the neighborhood that had everybody's respect, because it just was different then, and it was kind of that, and I had my father at home, but still just to have those male figures out in the community, because they were also the Little League coaches. Mm-hmm. They were also in the barbershop, even when they weren't in uniform, they was in the barbershop talking junk, so I got to see those guys in a different light. So I got to see them outside of being officer, whoever. Sure. And it was dope, man. Like I love those guys, and I tell them, I thank them now when I see them, and they remember me, but it's because they were just good guys. And on top of that, they wore the uniform. So it was nothing like them seeing it with that brass shining with the nameplate, and they got the hat on. And I mean, it was cool. But they were literally good guys. Yeah. So that's kind of how I started.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and maybe I'm wrong, but I tend to think you don't see too many people like yourself within the criminal justice platform.
Right there. It's getting better. I think that's the best way for me to say it. It's getting better.
So when you walk into those rooms, how are you opening those doors for others?
I mentor whenever I can, however I can. I take the time to. I've got a young man that I'm talking with right now that is applying to law school, just to kind of. Sometimes it's not even necessarily about opening the door. It's just about giving the encouragement, like, hey man, if I did it, you can do it, and here's how. Here's the blueprint. I didn't have an attorney to turn to when I was going to law school. I just didn't have anybody. And I shouldn't say I didn't have anybody. I didn't have anybody in my immediate family that's an attorney that I could turn to and say, hey, what is civil procedure about? What does this mean? How does it work? I didn't have that. I had mentors that I sought out to kind of, direct me and things like that. But I think that's important to give the encouragement to say, look, it's doable. Like, it can happen for you. I'm from the same streets, Pool Road, Cooper Road. Like, there's nothing, and I say that, and when I say it, it's weird sometimes because I don't say, well, there's nothing special about me. And I don't mean it like to downplay it, but what I mean is, if you put your mind to it and you say, listen, I'm going to get it done. You're going to get it done. And I often go back to the Henry Ford quote, which is, whether you think you can do it or you think you can't do it, you're right. And that's kind of what I pour into people when I talk with them. You want to be a lawyer? Listen, let's get it. What do you want to talk about? What can I help you with? Do you need help figuring out the process of the LSAT? Do you need the process of figuring out how to apply to law schools? Do you need the process of figuring out what these classes are that you're going to take? Because, again, a lot of us don't have that exposure. So, I try to help whichever way I can, whether it's, saying, hey, you can do it, or actually getting into the nuts and bolts of it and saying, this is how you do it. That's kind of where I am.
So Dame, let's talk about culture for a minute real quick. Okay. You talked about those streets, Pool Road, off camera, we talked a little bit about the background, the history of it. In culture, we don't, with criminal justice or police officers, judges, lawyers, you don't really rock with that. How have you been received? Because from what I feel, you're probably a little bit different, but how have you been received being first an attorney and then now a district judge?
Well, I mean, I had the benefit of being from here. So I say it was a blessing. So just as a little bit of background, I had the opportunity to prosecute, had the opportunity to be a defense attorney, and now I've been blessed to be a judge. But with that, I think a lot of that comes with just trust. To trust that you're going to do the right thing, whether you're a prosecutor, whether you're a defense attorney, whether you're a judge, to just trust that, you're going to do the right thing. And I say that to say that oftentimes people aren't looking for a win. They're looking just to be treated fair. So it's not that, oh, Dame is in there, he going to give away the courthouse. No, I'm going to follow the law. But I'm also going to do what I said I was going to do, and I'm going to treat you with dignity and respect. Yeah. I'm going to follow the law, and I'm going to tell you that I'm going to follow the law. But a lot of that is not even about the law a lot of times. It's about approach. We talked about that earlier too. You know, one of the things that I take with me in my courtroom when I go in every morning is, regardless of who comes out, whether that defendant came out through the regular doors or whether it came out with the sheriff in an orange jumpsuit, I make it my business to say, "Good morning, Mr. Smith." So whenever they come up, if I call your name and I say, "Hey, State versus Mr. Smith," when Mr. Smith walks around through the doors and he comes and he stands between the table, I say, "Good morning, Mr. Smith." So the little things, right? And you would be amazed at how much pressure that relieves sometimes. Just, the judge spoke to me. He said, "Good morning."
So you see me like as a human.
You're a human.
Right. I feel like a human.
Right? Just the small thing of saying good morning, right? Now, it may be that you did exactly what, the state may have proved their case and I have to do what I have to do, whatever the law says, but I spoke to you, I said good morning, I gave you the respect that I'm asking. And it makes the world to be.
It's you said a lot, Damion. And if you're just checking into the Bro Code Show, we're right here at 23 West Hargett Street, Black Friday Market on the corner of Hargett and Salisbury. Checking in with Judge Damion McCullers. Talk about a whole lot, Damion. And again, I got to go back. You said a whole lot, right? So, how we treat people, a code, a set of standards. You're talking now about how you grew up with those standards, and now reflect that in the courtroom. Earlier you talked about with law enforcement and building that relationship. You mentioned barbershops. You also mentioned consistency, right? You saw them whether that was in uniform or out of uniform. But there was always consistency in that relationship. There was a presence.
Absolutely.
Right? So with that being said, man, with the work that we do at Y4C, Young Men for Christ, nonprofit here in Raleigh, North Carolina, we focus on young men ages 7 to 17. One of the things that we do and look forward to bringing back now here in 22 is the barbershop talk. Yeah, having an opportunity to bridge the gap between those young brown and black boys, their families, ages 7 to 17, and every law enforcement unit in the area, Wake County Sheriff's Department, foster care, social services, and even concerned parents are just wondering. The dynamics of it is really using the barbershop as a way to engage in positive, popular conversation.
Sure.
In the past we've done it about 39 times, but the long or the short, it now gives an opportunity for these young men to see in and out of uniform, not the first time on the side of the road.
Sure. And those conversations are important.
Yeah.
I think discussion fosters growth. That's just how it works. If we have an opportunity to see each other and talk with each other, because there's a perspective that even sometimes our community won't get, is to think about what it feels like to be on the side of the road and approaching a vehicle, but you have no idea what's happening when you get there. You don't know if you're going to get met with "Good afternoon, officer," or if you're going to get met with "What are you pulling me over for?" Yada 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 yada. But on the flip side, the officer might not know that person's been pulled over 3 or 4 times. There's a discussion and a dynamic that needs to happen so that everybody gets understanding. It's a little book I read, and it says, "In all that getting, get an understanding."
Yeah.
So, I think those conversations are important to have for everybody.
Understanding, wow. That's good. We're going to come back with that. You're checking in right here at the Bro Code Show. We're going to do a quick commercial, and we'll be right back.
A shot, God threw me the alley-oop. I believe I can fly. Let me mingle with the angels. Heaven's in my periphery.
We'll be right back on the Bro Code Show after a brief word from our sponsors. We all we got. This show is sponsored by Papa Murphy's Take and Bake Pizza. Make sure to visit your local Papa Murphy's Pizza retail store near you and load up on fresh, made-to-order, gluten-free take and bake pizzas, desserts, and salads. Now make sure to use that mobile app for faster and to earn additional savings. Stay tuned for a new segment on the Bro Code Show called The Rehash. You'll learn more about the bros personally and what drives them as men and community leaders. The Rehash will be available on YouTube and all audio podcast platforms every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tap in to the Bro Code.
The things things I cannot change. Grant me the courage to change the things that I can. And grant me the wisdom to know the difference, just for today. Amen.
What's up, good people? It's your boy, Bro Troy. We're right here at 23 Hargett Street, back on the Bro Coat Show, inside the Black Friday Market. Hanging out with my man, Judge Damion McCullers. So, Smith, what you got, man?
I want to get back on something that Judge had shared in regards to just the experience of law enforcement interacting with the public. When we first started our show back in June of last year, we had a 4-part series where we focused on nothing but the talk from a number of different angles, because the events of those times were weighing pretty heavy on everybody's hearts. You had made mention of the fact that you were thinking about being in law enforcement. You've been a criminal defense attorney, judge now. How have the issues of race affected you professionally and personally, given that you've seen it from all sorts of different angles?
I mean, it's something that you never put it away. I can't rub this off. It's there. But I will say, as far as having been where I've been, I haven't really had issues per se. There are things that you kind of see and you think about. That don't really sound right to me. But I haven't had anything that's just blatant, outright in your face. But we deal with things every day. There's no way to kind of put that away and just say it's non-existent. I mean, and it's not necessarily always something, again, that's just blatant in your face outright. It may be something like, I'll give you an example. Certain things that I am just, I guess, I'm somewhat wired to do. I always give the example, just growing up with my grandfather. Whenever I go into a convenience store, I pull my money out. It's not something that anyone has done to me, but I do it. I pull my money out when I go to a convenience store. Why? Because I want everyone in here to know that I have money. I'm not stealing anything. So it's not it's not always something that has happened to someone. It may be just a condition that you have. So I mean, things like that. You just you're on guard for it, and you just kind of do better.
I love that. When you talk about being conditioned, when we started having that conversation over years ago and did that 4-part series, one of the things that we brought up, there was a mom that had put out something on social media that her son was given a laundry list of do's and don'ts before he went into the community. So you used an example of pulling out your money to almost use it as a reflection of, I have money, I'm not here to do anything wrong, but that came from somewhere.
Well, for me, it came from just being told to do so by a grandfather, but I'm sure it came from a grandfather, because he's 96 now, so I'm sure he had some experiences that taught him to teach me that. But like that laundry list of things that you talk about, I mean, I've had those conversations when I was a defense attorney. I had a mom call me, and she says, I want to know what to tell my son. And we were at a point in time when I almost didn't necessarily know. She said, well, look, I don't want the fluff that you give. I want to know what you tell your nephew, your son, your loved one. What do you say? And I kind of went down those types of things just to say, hand 10 and 2, yes sir, no sir. And she was like, well, I want to know what you tell your son. And I said, well, honestly, what I tell my son is, you get home to me. If you're asked to get out, you get out. If you're asked to, if there is something that's going on, the side of the road is not the time for you to have court, right? You need to get home, and we'll take the proper channels to deal with it. But you got to get home. And so that was kind of the advice that I gave.
That's really interesting, man. What you got, Booker?
So earlier we were talking a little bit about the community. Obviously, you've been serving in so many different capacities. I kind of want to know, first of all, why? You're part of the board for YM4C and have been that way for a little while now. But why? Why do you serve? Because as you talk about being a judge, I'm sure you're pretty busy, number one. You have a family, number two. But you still show up for the community, especially the youth.
There are, so that kind of goes back to those people that I talk about that poured into me. because they were there doing it when I was 7 to 17, right? So I talk about Mr. Clinton, talk about Oates and Green, the Smitty, and those, like, they were there. And honestly, I kind of look back over kind of the course of the last couple of years, and I mean, just as an admission for me, I was ashamed that I hadn't been doing what I needed to do, because I did go to law school. I did start a business. And if I don't do it, then who? Or if something happens to my mom, is it my fault because I didn't take the 10 minutes to talk to that young man? So, you know, that's kind of where, like, you got to look at some self-reflection. So, like, and I can say us because it's us as men.
Yeah.
Like, we got to take that on. Like, we can talk about these kids and say, oh, they out here wilding, they doing this and doing that. But, yeah, what are you doing? Are you stopping him from wilding, or are you encouraging it? Because your inaction is encouraging it. So, you know, you can't get up there and spot off about what they not doing if you not doing anything with them.
It's interesting, man. I once heard silence is a form of acceptance.
It's acceptance.
And that works on multiple levels. You know, the work that we do, one of the things we talked about, we mentioned that in this conversation, many is just present. Like showing up, you know, consistency, you know, and that's not something to the faint of heart, because that works on every level of life.
Sure.
From self-reflection to helping to encourage others. So, good stuff, man. If you're just checking into the Bro Code Show, we got the big homie, man. Damion McCullers, Judge. Damion McCullers, man. We right here live downtown Raleigh, 23 West Hargett Street in downtown Raleigh, the Black Friday Market. I'm Bro Troy.
Bro Kurt.
And we are Bro Code.
Had a shot, God threw me the alley-oop. I believe I can fly. Let me mingle with the angels. Heaven's in my peripheral. I see it.
We'll be right back on the Bro Code Show after a brief word from our sponsors. We all we got.
This show is sponsored by Papa Murphy's Take and Bake Pizza. Make sure to visit your local Papa Murphy's Pizza retail store near you and load up on fresh, made-to-order, gluten-free Take and Bake pizzas, desserts, and salads. Now make sure to use that mobile app for faster and to earn additional savings. The Bros just got stronger. We've added a new member to the team, A. Ruth Proctor. The blonde bombshell herself will be hosting this new segment called the Proctor Report. This segment will share behind-the-scenes footage and engage questions from our listeners from a female point of view. Tap in to the Bro Code.
Things I cannot change. Grant me the courage to change the things that I can, and grant me the wisdom to know the difference, just for today.
Welcome back to the Bro Code Show. We're right here at 23 West Hargett Street, downtown Raleigh at Black Friday Market. I'm Bro Troy.
Bro Kurt. Bro Smith.
And we are Bro Code. Bro Kurt, what you got, man?
So, Dane, we are sitting in Black Friday Market. If we took about a 30-second walk across the street, we can see a mural of one of your fellow Eagles, Lavelle Moulton. And when he had his speech over there talking about legacy, he shared a lot of his story and how much that meant to him. You brought up Lane Street earlier, which we know he has a park over there. Yeah. So he really hit heavy on legacy. All the people that he stood shoulders on were at that mural during his event. Talk about legacy and some of the way how that's leaning for you, your community, your family, moving forward.
Sure. First off, shout out to Coach Moulton. Keep doing your thing, man. Proud of you.
Yeah. Pro Coach Show.
Yeah, absolutely. When I hear legacy, what I think is pathway. And what I mean by that is leaving a pathway for my son, for my daughter, for the young man that I don't know that's in Southeast Raleigh, to be able to say, well, if Judge McCullers did it, I can do it. That's what I think of when I think of legacy. And it doesn't always have to be material. Often it could be, you know, it may mean the world to, hopefully my son one day when I'm dead and gone, for somebody to be like, man, your dad was dope. You know what I mean? So to me, that's legacy. I think of business when I think of legacy. So for my son to be able to, because the internet, I tell them all the time when they talk about pictures and stuff, the internet is forever. So, but for my son to be able to see that I started a law firm and that in existence for almost 20 years as a named partner, and that law firm is still in existence today, and the only reason that my name is not there is because I was promoted to be a judge. But things like that, I think those are invaluable. So when I think of legacy, I think of pathway is not necessarily about what I'm doing for me, but what I'm doing for somebody that's coming behind me.
Yeah. Now I know you care about that legacy, but I'm curious, what would you say is one of your most proudest accomplishments?
I really look back at my life in amazement, man. And it's not anything. To me, it's not anything that I've done. You know, it's again, I celebrate all of this stuff with everybody because everybody. I mean, it's just so many things, and I'm really trying to like think back to like what it is. But I think for me in the city, I think the newest is kind of it. I mean, you know, just getting a call from the governor, like. Is invaluable. That is something that I will never forget as long as I live. I will never forget April 13th as long as I live, or 2021, ever. I literally spoke to the governor on the phone. I was appointed to be a district court judge. That is something that, you know, walking down the streets of Southeast Raleigh as a kid, you just didn't. That was not something that you thought of. So, you know, man, I've had so many great moments that I share with everybody. I mean, you know, college graduation was great, but then to go on to law school, you know, to have a going away party to go to law school, because, you know, again, it's everybody's celebration, so it's like, oh, you're gonna be fine, and then to actually do it. Quick story about law school. Just we talked about culture. I left North Carolina Central University in May. And I was at Campbell University Law School in August. And this is in Bowie's Creek. This is not downtown. So, you know, I went through a little bit of just shock because it was different. I left the HBCU and I went to Campbell. And that's not a knock on Campbell. That was just the difference in my situation. And I had decided that I wasn't going back. Because the first year of law school, it doesn't matter where you go. It kicks your butt, right? Like, it's bad. And I had decided I wasn't going back. I was literally crying about it. And I never forget, I was sitting at the kitchen table at my parents' house, and my mom and I are making all these plans. She was like, oh, well, you can get a job, you can move back, you can get on your feet, and yada, yada, yada. And again, I'm dating myself, but my dad has the paper. Some of y'all probably, the kids don't know what the paper is. They read the internet, but my dad has the paper and he has it up. You can't see his face. And he calls me son, or he'll call me buddy. He said, buddy, like me and my mom, we laid it out. It's done. I'm coming back. It's over with. He said, buddy. I was like, yes, sir. He said, this is 36 months to set you up for the rest of your life. 36 months. It's going to set you up for the rest of your life. He was like, that's it. And he put his paper back up and kept reading. And that night, he was like, all right, it's time for you to go. Go back. He was like, I'm going to be right there with you, but you're going back. And I went back, and I just kind of looked at it different after that. But it's, but again, that's one of those things, having someone to tell you, like, look, you don't see the bigger picture right now, but this is good for you. So that's kind of one of those things. I never forget that story. But like I said, I mean, I've had so many great moments, and like I've been embraced by everybody. So I really am a son of Raleigh. I'm a son of Wake County. I am the product of so many people that poured into me. So I really wish I could pick one, but it's just so many people that did so much, man. Like it's.
But that's the way it should be.
It's crazy,
right? That's the way it should be.
Yeah, it should be that way.
That's what we need.
But that is what we need. But I can't beat that drum enough and just say that like those people did those things for me.
Many hands make light work. You know, we talk about wise counsel. One of the questions that we ask a child in our mentoring program, one of our metrics, outcomes, is if that child feels supported by at least 2 or 3 positive adults, male or female.
Right.
You know, it's heartbreaking when questioning some of them, you know.
That's tough. I mean, that's...
So that's why that's so important. You know, you talk about the little things. Oftentimes with the kids that we serve, and please feel free to add on, they just want to be heard. They want someone to listen. You know, we use the word that we strongly advocate for, which is perspective. Right? Seeing things from a different lens. So.
Absolutely. And amazingly enough, probably that same person as an adult, when they come in a courtroom, a lot of times it's not about them being upset or angry. They want to be heard.
Yeah.
Win or lose, it doesn't matter the outcome. It's the fact that they were able to be heard and they were able to present their side of it, and whatever the outcome is the outcome. But they had an opportunity to be heard.
Yeah. Especially when that emotional frustration or anger is involved, right? Yeah, somebody will listen to me.
Right.
Right, wrong, or indifferent.
But that, you know, it circles right back to that same child. Is that I haven't been heard. So they become an adult, and then they say they haven't been heard, and it's, you know, it's a
cycle.
It's a cycle.
Yeah, that's why we do what we do, man. We talk about black uniforms. So, hey, that's why the work is important. That's why you're sitting here. That's why we're having this conversation right here on the Bro Code Show,
Absolutely.
Right?
Shout out to the Bro Code.
Indeed, man. We make it happen. Please go to our Instagram page at Bro Code Show right now. Like, share, comment with everyone, man. Go to our YouTube page at Bro Code TV Productions. Keep up with all of the courageous conversations that we've had in the past and everything that's to come. Look forward to February 2nd, 2022, as the new episodes will come out, new series, new season. Stay in tune with all of the conversations that we're having. Damion, we certainly appreciate you, man. We've asked you a lot of questions, bro. Really dope questions. I love your answers, man. But we have a segment here called Flip the Script.
All right.
Right? And with Flip the Script, now it gives you the opportunity to ask us questions, whether that be individually or collectively. So the mic is yours, brother.
Let me see. First one, and you guys can answer individually. If you could have dinner with 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be?
You all get one piece?
No, you can do your 3. So you can do your 3. Who are your 3?
We oftentimes think alike. I always go last, so I'll keep that. But I'm quite sure we're gonna have a few of them that
overlap.
Yeah, they kind of overlap. But I'll wait. Yeah, I'll wait. I know for me, I gotta talk to Obama. I just want to, man. I just really want to, and he's alive. You know what I mean? Like, and I was here, so it wouldn't be something that I read in a book. I was able to experience it, and you know, he means different things to different people, but someone that has been able to be around to see that happen in that moment, yeah. So Obama would be one of them. You know, who wouldn't want to talk to Jay-Z? You know, like, who wouldn't want to, you know, right? Like, who wouldn't want to?
We're going to all take Jay.
Yeah, like, who wouldn't? If anything, I would just love the shadow, be in the room. You know, I'll drive the car. You know, just to be in earshot of some of the conversations. And then, last but not least, man, I don't know. I think the mannish side of me, right? The mannish side of me is just, you know, I want to talk to one of my crushes, right? Like everybody has a, you know. So whether that's Angela Bassett, I saw a picture of Angela Bassett on the internet the other day.
Stay focused. Stay focused.
You guys, but no, he's focused. He answered the question. He answered the question.
But yeah, I would. We don't want to lose him.
Come back.
That would take me to a whole nother level, but. Hey man, remember, man, men are driven by what they see.
Visual.
Women are driven by what they hear. So yeah, that would be my mini three, just to kind of attack it from different angles, a purpose angle, from a love and a genre of music angle, and someone that has aspired in front of the camera and is easy on the eye.
I would have had two of those, and I was trying to think of Jay-Z and Obama being those two, but I was trying to think of the third. I'm gonna go with Richard Pryor. Trailblazer in his own right, funny. He would keep the conversation, a little bit more lively. Because Jay's gonna come with the Jay-isms, and Obama's gonna have his wit and his humor, his candidness. But I would go with Richard, man. He opened up a ton of doors for everybody else. It'd be the Richard or Dave Chappelle. If I wanted to keep him alive and not let it be weird having a dead guy at the table, I'd say Dave. But Dave got his inspiration from Richard, so I'd probably still go with Richard Pryor.
Okay. So since they have Jay, and I'm with them, I get Jay too. So,
okay.
But I'm gonna take Kanye then, right?
That's an interesting conversation.
And a lot of people don't like Kanye, right? But the numbers don't lie.
And he's a music genius,
right? Marketing, right? The brother, I got to go Kanye. Malcolm X. Want to talk to him because I want to talk to the first Malcolm and the second. I want to know the stories because he was on both sides. Mm-hmm. And then, probably Mandela. I'm gonna say Mandela. Yes. Like, bro, how you do that? 27 years. How you keep that? He guarded his heart, and I want to know how. Because I think I can do it for a year. I don't know, 27. And there was a story he was talking about with one of the prisoners and dealing with them, but he treated them with respect, even though. So I'd say Mandela.
Man, I'd be at a weekend. Nah. Right? Nah, bro. So that spirit, much respect. Did you have another question?
Yeah, I got plenty.
I
did my homework, man.
He was like, hey, I
did my homework. But I wanted to tell y'all too. Y'all did J because y'all know his +1 is B, so y'all did that on purpose.
You know she did.
Y'all did that on purpose. I did, yeah.
You get closer, right?
Yeah, I peeped that out. So my next one was, this should be interesting. Showtime Lakers or the 90s Bulls?
90s Bulls.
Wait, hold on, man. You got
that's not even.
They beat the Showtime Lakers. No, they were old.
No, okay. Well, let me revamp. I'll reword that. Peak Showtime Lakers or peak 90s.
Go for it. LA. Here's the thing. No, pound for pound. I mean, yeah, Jordan, but past that, no.
What?
Past that, the whole 12 Lakers. Man, no, Lakers, man.
So who's on your show? Because I'm thinking Magic, Kareem, James Worthy. Who's guarding Jordan?
AC Green. I mean, you can keep going. Rambus. They had a team. The Bulls had Mike. I mean, they had the team. They won. Mike, Pippen, and then everybody else was role players. We're not gonna brush over this.
They had.
Who else? You can't name anybody else that really you like.
They had the best.
The only person I would say is Rodman, but that was later, right? So I can't really put him in there.
Not 90s Bulls. I'm going the Bulls.
Okay.
Reason being, they had everything you needed. They had a staunch defender and rebounder who knew how to play his role. They had to do everything, gadget knife and Pippen. They had the clutch factor in Jordan, who could do anything he really wanted to do on a basketball court. And then you had those underrated players who were all-stars in their own right. Ron Harper, Kukoc was one of the best international players at the time. Longley was one of the best international players out of Australia at the time. And they had the best coach. I put Phil Jackson. Now he got handed a lot of superstar players.
No, he's the best. Coach.
But come from coaching to clutch to everything in between. I have the '90s Bulls as well.
But just remember, don't forget that the Pistons, the Celtics, and those Lakers you're talking about in that era, Jordan couldn't get past them.
He got past them in the '90s.
Eventually, but when we comparing the two teams, who you got?
I'm still. That's one of the ones I'm torn on. Yeah. And I will tell you, I am a product of the '90s Bulls.
Right.
Like that's.
The 13. I heard the 13.
That's tough.
Yeah. Like I'm a product of the '90s Bulls.
Right. Yeah.
So when I see, like when I watched The Last Dance, I was literally in front of my TV watching TNT when Jordan was doing all that stuff. So I think I'm biased. and that's probably the worst thing I can say as a judge, right? I'm biased towards the 90s Bulls, right? But I definitely pay homage to those Showtime Lakers because they were something special. They were special.
Yeah, that's going to depend on the room you're in.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the room.
Era, all that good
because
stuff.
you know, my dad tell me like, he was like, Jordan's great, but you know, you never saw it because he saw him live, so he saw Oscar Robertson play. So it just kind of depends on, again, perspective.
Yeah. Now I will add in, by the time this year is over, the Warriors have already kind of laid a claim to a lot.
I can't. Are you comparing them to the 90s Bulls? You can't.
This year's Warriors team?
Especially not even this year. Maybe with Durant, but not this year.
Especially with Durant, but more so now because they're playing without their best players.
No.
Klay Thompson, James Wiseman, and they got a hot Curry.
No.
But that 73. Well, how many games they win? 73. They lost that year.
It doesn't matter. Overruled. Judge says overruled.
Sentence this dude, man. Give him his time.
Overruled. All I'm saying is they would give the Bulls
not even close.
Run for their money.
Not even close. It's different.
Nah.
Replay that. Let's get some commentary.
We're going to get some.
There's a meme out, right, that talks about that. That says somebody asked Jordan, would his 90s Bulls beat the current Warriors? And he says no. And they say, well, why do you say that? And he says, well, because my 90s Bulls are on 65 now. Because he's talking about modern day.
Right.
So I don't know. Part of it is nostalgia for me, but those 90s Bulls are.
You brought up something though. You brought up the Last Dance, and just watching how Jordan approached not only basketball but life, and the way he took slights and turned it into passion. I'm gonna say that that's the problem. Any team he was on, the problem because of the way he went about it.
Was the same thing when you asked that question about 2 seconds down by 3, who you want? It's no question for me. I want Jordan the ball. I don't care about
if they're down by 3
or 2. It doesn't matter. I want the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Even
to pass it off.
He has the it, and it's just something you can't describe. And it's something either you have it or you don't.
Now we said down by 1, down by 2, down by 3. I don't know if
I want him to take. I want him to take the shot.
Yeah, he's the go-to man, and
everybody
wants
to take the shot. And everybody can't do it.
Most can't.
So, last one, fellas.
You got another?
Last one.
I like this.
Last one. What's the best advice you've been given that you did not follow?
Didn't follow.
Delayed gratification for me. Yeah. Your father did that with you with the newspaper. He gave you wise counsel. He didn't beat around the bush with it. He got straight to the cut and understanding that it'll be greater later. Sacrifice now. Now here it is on 41. Right? So had I listened to that and not been such a hothead in the early 20s, or really dug out a little bit more about why I even feel that way, being more in tune and present about why I feel that way and why it's important. Rather than gaining all the responsibility and now trying to figure it out. Gotcha. So delayed gratification for me is why it's so important.
My father wanted me to be a information systems analyst in 2000 when I went to NC State, and get more into graphic design and inner workings of the computer and design. I chose to go the business route, which I've enjoyed, but seeing how far things have gotten now, I'm like, man, if I could code. And I know I could probably learn, but now it's different now. So I didn't take that advice. He probably didn't like the fact that I went my own way on that one. But looking back, like, man, if I had to do over, I might try something a little bit different.
Mine is centered around money and just having a couple of mentors back when I was young in the 90s. And again, the internet wasn't around. So getting advice financially where it was either buy houses or buy stocks. And I was like, that's not how we moved back then. But had I listened, the game would be different financially now. So
same thing. I'm dating myself, but I had a computer. It was literally a computer teacher that was in our high school my senior year. And this little old lady, really quiet, spoke really, really soft. and she was talking to us one day. We were seniors, you know, last couple of weeks of school, we not paying attention to nothing. Yeah. And I will never forget, she said, you know, you guys are going to graduate soon, you're going to get your graduation money. You really should look into putting your money into fiber optic cable. We seniors in high school, we 17, 18, ain't nobody studying on fiber optic cable. Internet came, and what do you have to have for the internet? Fiber optic cable. And that was it.
Yeah. If I knew then
what I knew now.
What I know now. If
right.
Yeah. We're checking in with the Bro Code Show. We're right here at 23 West Hargett Street. We're sitting at the Black Friday market with my man, Judge Damion McCullers. We'll be right back.
Had a shot, God threw me the alley-oop. I believe I can fly. Let me mingle with the angels. Heaven's in my...
We'll be right back on the Bro Code Show after a brief word from our sponsors. We all we got. This show is sponsored by Papa Murphy's Take and Bake Pizza. Make sure to visit your local Papa Murphy's Pizza retail store near you and load up on fresh, made-to-order, gluten-free Take and Bake pizzas, desserts, and salads. Now make sure to use that mobile app for faster and to earn additional savings. The pros just got stronger. We've added a new member to the team, A. Ruth Proctor. The blonde bombshell herself will be hosting this new segment called the Proctor Report. This segment will share behind-the-scenes footage and engage questions from our listeners from a female point of view. Tap in to the Bro Code.
In the Bro Code Show.
Now we don't want to zoom past our partnerships.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about that, man. Partnerships and relationships are key, right? We talk about a fist, not a finger. We can do more with more. Yeah. We can do more collectively together. So clearly, we got to shout out our sponsors, Papa Murphy's Pizza. We appreciate the relationship, continue the relationship. They understand the value of not just partnerships, but voice and amplifying that in a spirit of excellence. And we do that very well here on the Bro Code Show. For those that may want to connect with the Bro Code Show, talk about those partnerships, how we can market your brand, your idea, your vision, and your business. Please connect with us at 919-714-9905 or go to @BroCodeShow on Instagram. We look forward to what's next. It's your boy, Bro Troy,
Bro Smith,
Bro Kirk,
and we are the Bro Code.
We all we got.
And the things I cannot change. Grant me the courage to change the things that I can. And grant me the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today. Amen.
Welcome back to the Bro Code Show. We're right here at the Black Friday market. Please make sure to check out Papa Murphy's Pizza and check out those Take and Bake pizzas, all fresh, gluten-free. Go to the mobile app to use that for greater savings. So, Dan, we talked about a lot, bro, from sports to legacy to fatherhood to being a judge, the perspective, mentors, you know, but we did a little research too.
Okay.
We did. And we saw a few pictures that kind of emulate some of the things that we've talked about in this conversation.
I was saying, I ain't do it.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. These are pictures that you've already shared with the world. But I thought, you know, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Now, we don't need 1,000.
Gotcha.
But we definitely want to hear why you shared these pictures with the world, who was in it, and, you know, why is it important to you? Right. So this is the first picture.
Oh, man. So that is me and my son on Halloween. So I'm in my judge's robe, and he's in his sweater wrapped around his neck. So we did Uncle Phil and Carl.
Yeah.
My son is kind of the jokester of my children. He has taught me not to take life so seriously, to laugh a little bit. Yeah, you know, kind of. My son is a smell the roses guy. So I that's what that is.
Yeah, that's good stuff. How did that go off? Because that was that a Halloween thing?
It was a Halloween thing.
Yeah.
You know, we wanted to do something light that people would like, and it was fun. You know, he's to a point now, so he's 7, where he's watching Fresh Prince a little bit. So he thought it was cool. They put the Carlton sweater on, and he was doing the dance, and you know, so it was cool.
I think that's good too that he gets a chance to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We talk about respect and knowing the why and understanding the culture. You know, because he sees Jaden Smith now,
right?
But not really understanding where, and it shows that bridge, the same thing that he sees you.
Absolutely.
Right?
The crazy part is like some stuff is just memorable. So so now he can do in West Philadelphia.
Yeah,
but like everybody knows that. So yeah.
How could you not remember that? I think everybody still knows that whole verse.
Everybody knows a piece of that. Like you might not know the whole thing, but everybody knows a piece of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know when the beat goes on.
Yeah, you know when it drops, you know what to do.
Absolutely, man. What about this second one?
Wow. So that is the day that I was sworn in as a district court judge. That picture is basically, for me, it represents anything is possible, right? Anything. Like your wildest dream is possible. In that picture, so I'm in the center, but beside me is a North Carolina Supreme Court justice who swore me in. Shout out to Justice Michael Morgan.
Yeah, shout out to Mike Morgan, man. Meet you on the Bro Code Show.
So, anything is possible. And not only that, so beside him is one of the people who encouraged me and told me I could do it, who is Superior Court Judge Craig Crone.
Yeah.
And beside him is the former elected DA, Mr. Colin Willoughby. And on the other side is the Chief District Court Judge, or former Chief District Court Judge, Judge Sasser. And beside her is another Superior Court Judge, Judge Rozier. And beside him is the elected DA, Ms. Lauren Freeman. So that picture just represents, like, listen, it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It doesn't matter what they tell you can't do. It doesn't matter, what somebody else has said. It is possible.
Yeah. It's so funny. Earlier you talked about a little chubby kid from Southeast Raleigh who didn't want to run. Now you run a court.
Isn't that crazy? Like, and it's crazy that, and I say that that it's not every day that somebody gets to literally live their dream. And I live my dream every day, man. It's wild.
That's really dope, man. I love it, man. So this last one was kind of mysterious, man. I really, man, the bros really want to know about this one too, man.
Okay.
Talk to me about it. It wasn't much caption there, so walk us through this, man. What are we looking at here?
It wasn't a whole lot of caption because I literally was in Mexico and the Wi-Fi and everything was kind of crazy. But that is Chichen Itza. So that is one of the 7 wonders of the world. It is a Mayan ruin. But that's more about just telling people, the world is huge. Go out, travel, see things, learn. It's so much to learn out there. So much to see. COVID has kind of changed things and changed the world, but like when we get back to a point where you can travel and do stuff, do it. It's so much dopeness out there. Go see it. I tell my homeboys all the time, some of them that don't like to travel, you can see pictures of Jamaica or the Caribbean, but until you've seen that crystal clear blue water, no one can describe it to you. Like it's something that you have to literally see for yourself. So, that's what that picture's about. Go see the world, people. It's out there.
I can dig that too, man. The world is so much bigger than the city or the zip code that you reside in.
Absolutely.
And that's why they have passports for a reason. I'll tell a kid in a minute, in your early 20s, if you're able to, use the first 5 to 7 years.
And I will tell them that I will echo that sentiment. That is one thing that I did not do enough. I did it, but I didn't do it enough. Travel, see the world. It's out there. It's beautiful. See the world.
For those that are able, man, money is an idea. You got plenty of time. As long as you have ideas, you can make money.
Yeah, well,
so you got plenty of time to make
in your
money.
20s, your early 20s, and in college, that's the time for you when you don't have those responsibilities. You can do it. You can stay at a hostel if you want. You know what I mean? And there are absolute ways to do it.
That's right.
And do it call it balling on the budget.
That's it.
But you can do it and definitely travel, see the world. It's beautiful.
Indeed. I love it. I love it. Well, Dan, we always like to do something special for those that come here on the Bro Code Show. We're different. Okay. Right? We do differently. That being said, man, earlier we asked you before you came on the show, what is a word that kind of defines and describes who you are or you use in times that you need to encourage yourself?
Sure.
The word you gave us was victorious.
Victorious.
Yeah, man. So, Bro Kurt has something for you.
So, part of the brand I created about a year and a half ago is called You Matter. And it's really centered in something you said earlier. I wanted every person that I met, when I experienced them, to feel dignity and respect in how I treat them. And so I created that. One of the things we do is we give away $2 bills. Now we put your name on here, it says You Matter. Your word victorious is on here, and we all sign it.
That's dope.
It really kind of thinks about it. It really makes us remember in the courtroom and people were walking in and talk about that and how we treat them. And they feel like it matters. Regardless. So we appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Small token, man.
But I certainly appreciate you guys for having me here.
Yeah, indeed.
I made it.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, well, we appreciate having you, man. So always we end on the same note, right? On a positive, and tonight is no different. Yeah, how can we forget that, man? You gonna let me glance over that, man?
I almost scared, man. I was on the way out the door.
Hey, man, this is like the most important segment of the show. We almost let him go. We would've gave him $2 and all. Hey, Dave. Hey, Dave, you know, with all the things that have went on tonight, man, you've mentioned a lot of names. You know, but we have one more segment, and this segment right here is called Calling Them Out. And we want you to look at, is it that camera?
It's this one.
That one right there, man. Right. We want you to look at that camera and let them know their name, what they do, and that they need to be on the Bro Code Show. You got it.
So listen, I love this segment. I've seen it on the other shows. I am calling out Mr. Deontay Thomas, the Wake County Public Defender. So come on, bro. You need to get on the Bro Code. It's a great experience. I'm sure they'd love to have you. Also, I'm calling out Councilwoman Stormy Fort. I would love for you to come. It'll be a dope experience. She is making history. If you guys don't know about her, please look her up, but she is awesome. I am also calling out Bishop Stennett E. Powell Sr.
Oh, yes.
From The Abundant Life Cathedral.
The Abundant Life.
He is an awesome person, too. His story is so awesome.
Yeah,
If you talk with him, his story is amazing.
Yeah.
So those are my three. I'm calling y'all out.
That's
Make
it.
me look good.
We need you right here on the Bro Code Show. You heard him. We'll be coming for you, man. So we appreciate it, Dave, man. Many blessings to you and the family, man. Continue to do great things. Continue to encourage those that feel they don't have a voice, man. And just be a reflective representation, man.
Man, I'm trying my best every day, man. And I literally thank y'all for being here. It's good just to be with the brothers sometimes.
That's
just
it,
to hang
man.
out and kick it, right?
That's it, man. Honorary bro, man.
I love it. I love it. So
Indeed.
Thank y'all again.
Indeed. We love and appreciate you too, man. So we always end on a positive note. Tonight is no different. This quote reads, "Positive self-talk is the key to any successful person. If you could change the voice in your mind, you can do anything." It's your boy, Bro Troy, a.k.a. Mr. YM4C, but better known as Coach TJ, and we are Bro Code. My man, appreciate you, brother.
But I got something to say. I mean, I just don't get it, as if they can't see you making the way. City lights, what up? He's preparing the way. City lights, what up? How could you live for tomorrow if you ain't promised today? How could you walk on water if you don't stand on faith? It's like I'm going through circles, I'm in that same old place. I see you closing the curtains, but I got something to say. Said we got something to say. We got something to say, man. I mean, I just don't get it, as if they can't see you making the way. Yeah, the Lord's preparing the way for me.